What the fuck is this piece of shit?
And one costly case split that was actually quite cost effective later, I too have my very own C tier deck. That might just one day be B tier. It happened with Blitz, it can happen here, I swear. The only bad part about it is that literally everything costs counterblast. And what counter charges do you have? Fucking none. The other thing about Drajeweled is that instead of just mindlessly building soul, you want to get a balance of 4 different grades in your soul for Drajeweld's main effect. With it, you can soul blast 4 with different grades when it attacks to set your opponent's power to 1, and if it's at grade 3 or greater, give it a critical. This gives your entire deck a pretty nice aggro that's just kinda usable whenever. The other thing is that this deck just kinda doesn't have power that much, so dropping your opponent to 1 is basically the only power they get, and beyond that you kinda just need Persona Rides and just trigger sack. That balance of different grades includes 3 Persona Rides, 3 of your only going first play, as Rystal Galer is basically just able to retire and cycle your hand a little bit just so you can find your Persona Rides and Rockargours for next turn. And then also 3 of this guy because it's a decent way of just ensuring that you get a grade 3 in soul. Of course, at the cost of counterblasting 1. For the grade 2s, you are running 4 of the only good card in this deck, as it gets 10k when attacking if you have 4 different grades in your soul, and when you soul blast 4 or more at a time, you can counterblast 1 to restand it. So you're seeing what I mean with the counterblasting already. 4 Egg Speller for easy soul charge. This is just kind of a nice throw down whenever you need a rear guard, and it can buff your Vanguard, which is kinda nice. And then 2.
Can I please bite a chunk out of that ass?
The P is hard.
This card's just nice. It draws. Then for 1s, you got 4 of the Funny Dog. All it does is just put something from drop into soul, so long as you don't have something of that grade in your soul. It just makes it a super good consistency card. Just don't try buying a frame rare. 3 Power Gem. It's able to build up soul and draw, but only when you use Drajeweld's main effect to soul blast 4. And then to fill up space, 4 Perfect Guards. Use this in every deck that you use. This is just a good card. Next for triggers is 7 Crit, 4 Draw, 4 heal in any variety you like, but I have SPs, so I'm forced to use all of these. So, I may have gone a bit hard on Drajeweled, but I do think that it has some issues. I had a sort of post-nut clarity between the deck list and this actual fight, and while I do think it's nice, I think it's only nice. Is a strategy comparable to a 10-year-old's design. The strategy of just win, lol, in that there's no real backing to the strategy, but dropping your opponent's Vanguard to 1 power is nice. It's a nice enough tool that you can win games with it, but in general the deck just needs anything to actually help out with that strategy. And in general, the way I describe Drajeweled is anything weaker than it, you absolutely slap. And anything stronger than Drajeweled is just a complete uphill battle. To demonstrate this, I have brought my friend Dan over to fight me, and he is playing Youthberk. So I think you can imagine how this fight will turn out.
I don't have the energy. I lost all my jokes.
Understandable. I'll just make a joke out of you instead.
Alright. You can try.
I will. Now for a little bit of a story time, something you need to know about my history with Dan is that on his scale of strong to fuck off, Dan is on the ladder, in that an unnecessary amount of times he'll just end games by double critting. But right now there's nothing too much to commentate on, it's just basic early game plays. As you're going to see in this video, Youthberk doesn't really need to put in a lot of effort to beat a deck like Drajeweled, and Drajeweled really needs to work hard to even try to win. Dan will be finding Maple off of an ability, as that's just a constant body he'll always have as long as he keeps riding. And just building up his board and even getting a Wayward Therapy Angel is just going to be nice because that's extra attacks and extra big numbers. I found that what works best is just kinda hope to god you find perfect guards, and at the very least Drajeweled is pretty okay at cycling through the deck, so that's at least a plus. Not much I can do about these attacks, but I go to 2, so that's that. I'll be riding Jewel Neal, and with its skill calling Jewel Core right to the back, as I found nobody's really going to guard against a boosted Vanguard attack, and on hit I get a Soul Charge, which is pretty okay. I really can't afford to not have the 4 different grades in my soul, and I don't even see Falcate once this game, so I just need to do whatever I can to build up soul. And Jewel Core, even being a 13k booster, is going to help with this attack going through. Expeller is going to soul charge 1 when it attacks, but get intercepted by Maple because it's just coming back next turn, so it's average stuff. Dan is grabbing back Tempest, so that's a guaranteed Revel form. And because of this crit, there's nothing I can do about the Maple attack, so I'm just gonna have to let it through. On my turn, Jewel Neal is gonna let me soul charge 1 and draw, and then Drajeweled is hopefully gonna let me draw another. At the cost of Falcate, but so long as I can just get a grade 3 in soul now, I'll have the 4 different. Truculence is going to attack first because it'll be going to soul afterwards, and that's a 23k attacker to start things off. And Drajeweled, as is pretty common, is going to eat up a Perfect Guard, but I'll get a heal, so that'll definitely help out next turn. And yes, I'm aware that this video is not shot very well, there's a lot of glare, the angle is weird. Rystal Galer is going to take out a Sequana, so that's one less drive check I'll have to hopefully worry about next turn, and it will pay off. And I don't do a good job of showing what's soul charged, so of course just notes to remember for the future. If you're still watching, I appreciate it. I go 2 to pass against Youthberk at 4 damage, and somehow Dan doesn't get a single trigger here. Though he does get a Gust, even if he's going into Tempest this turn. He's already at 4 damage, so maybe this was his idea of just thinning out my board, but honestly knowing Dan, I think it might have just been giving me the benefit of the doubt here. And also the opportunity to keep this video going. I don't get a trigger, but Youth isn't attacking with a drive check, so I'm pretty happy about it. There's my overtrigger letting me guard the last attack, and also keeping a Rockargour in hand.
Third.
Persona Ride, draw, Drajeweled skill, soul charge 2. Different grades, so draw 1. Yeah, I know the filming could have been a lot better, but at least I can joke about it with myself. The Rock is going to come down and he's going to attack with an extra 10k, so that's 30k with Persona Ride. And then by Soul Blasting 4 he's going to restand again, so this is essentially the best I can do for an offensive turn, but sadly I only had 1 Rock.
30 plus 2.
Okay, first check. Everything Van? Nope.
Not this time, Joe.
I don't think it'll ever happen. Not at this rate. I'm gonna miss what was maybe my last chance to actually win this game, but Dan's gonna go to 5 damage, so hey, if I can just survive this turn coming, then... Hey, Dan's not even Persona Riding. Though I'm sure it's both obvious to us I am not living through this.
$23 tier man.
2.
No, it's just 35. Oh, wait. 543.
This is a moral decision.
Nice, perfect card.
If you can't do it, I can do it. Everything Vanguard. Everything Vanguard.
Yeah, as expected. Power to Van. Oh, my draw. Would have been nice having that perfect card.
Alright, keep that in the video.
Yeah, we'll keep that. It's in the video. Damn, how crazy is that? Another video right away, just like 2 weeks after the last one. Crazy, I know. And of course it's another Dark States deck, and I have another video planned and hopefully coming out soon, and guess what? It's another Dark States deck, so I don't know. In this house we play Dark States, that's it. And if you're impatient and you want to know what deck that is, then here's a hint. It's the card, but I have blacked out every letter that is not the letter X. Too hard? Well, here it is, but every letter except for E is blacked out. I don't even really know where to begin with that deck, so look forward to it, it's gonna be good. Anyways, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe. Twitter is in the description where I sometimes post art, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.